They can be gruesome and exploitive, but also entertaining at times. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies about serial killers.
I'm just like anybody else.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at films about the lives and crimes of serial killers. While these aren't documentaries per se, we're only considering those that tell the stories of real-life serial killers. This means that very loose or inspired by stories and characters, like Leatherface and Ed Gein, won't be included, but movies that take some liberties are permitted.
I'm gonna do it, Mama. I'm gonna punish her for her sin.
Number 10, Dahmer.
What's this? This is our engagement ring.
While Dahmer isn't perfect, it definitely has a few good things going for it. Jeremy Renner is spectacular as Jeffrey Dahmer, arguably the sickest serial killer in history. He imbues Dahmer with both a horrific sense of psychopathy, while remaining, bizarrely, almost relatable. It's a tricky tightrope walk of a performance, but Renner miraculously pulls it off. The movie also explores Dahmer's character in a way that other adaptations may be too afraid of or unwilling to do. While he is a psychopath through and through, we come to understand his twisted motivations through the writing and Renner's complex performance. It's a little low budget and rough around the edges, but Renner makes it all worthwhile. Number 9, The Boston Strangler.
A 67-year-old nurse has been sexually assaulted and strangled by a Boston maniac.
Oh, that's Brown, Dave. This is the 5th victim. 2 belong to Lawrence and Lindy.
Let's face it, most movies about real-life serial killers are drab affairs, but not The Boston Strangler. Richard Fleischer directed, and it stars Hollywood A-listers Henry Fonda and Tony Curtis, who received a Golden Globe nomination for his work. The movie was extremely controversial upon its release in 1968. This was not only for its content, but because many critics considered it exploitive and immoral.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
The movie plays fast and loose with the facts. Albert DeSalvo most definitely did not suffer from multiple personality disorder, but the performances and production values are all so good that we can see past the fabrications.
But I don't belong here.
Number 8, Helter Skelter.
It's not nice to snitch, Shorty.
Helter Skelter was adapted from the 1974 Vincent Bugliosi and Kurt Gentry true crime book, which covered the infamous murders and trials of the Manson family. It aired on CBS over 2 nights in 1976. While you may expect a made-for-TV movie from the 70s to be less than great, the film perfectly captures the pandemonium, hysteria, and sheer shock of the events. Steve Railsback is straight-up horrifying as Charles Manson. Just look at those eyes, and the movie provides viewers with a highly detailed and factual representation of the infamous case.
If I could, I'd grab this microphone, I'd beat your brains out with it because that's what you deserve, that's what you deserve.
It was nominated for 3 Emmys and a Directors Guild of America award, proving that serial killer movies and prestige can in fact go hand in hand.
You're just making a fool out of yourself, partner.
Number 7, To Catch a Killer.
Ooh, you got it locked real tight. I don't know if I can...
Ow. Wow, that thing is really tight.
To Catch a Killer is another television movie, but, like Helter Skelter, the fact that it was made for television does nothing to negatively impact its quality. The movie follows Michael Riley's Lieutenant Kozenzak as he becomes suspicious of the charming popular John Wayne Gacy, who is played spectacularly by Brian Dennehy.
Mr. Policeman, don't you know a clown can get away with murder?
The movie is different from most, in that it does not depict Gacy's killings. It's more interested in the cat-and-mouse game between the police and Gacy, and as such, it's more like a detective film than anything else. It forgoes blood and guts to tell a more intense and personal story, and it's all the better for it.
So please, you tell me, what more do we need?
Number 6, The Deliberate Stranger.
Call me Ted. All my friends do.
Hey, look, another made-for-TV movie. We guess major Hollywood studios don't enjoy exploring the topic of serial killers. This one aired on NBC in 1986 and stars Mark Harmon as Ted Bundy, one of the most infamous serial killers of all time. Harmon is magnetic as Bundy, earning a Golden Globe nomination and the praise of Paulie Nelson, Bundy's real lawyer, who called Harmon and the film stunningly accurate. As it was made for TV, the movie omits the grisly details of Bundy's crimes, but Harmon's chilling and charming performance is scarier than blood and gore could ever be. It's the killers, not the blood, who fascinate us, and The Deliberate Stranger knows it. Number 5, 10 Rillington Place.
No.
Quiet!
This movie depicts the story of John Christie, an Englishman who killed 8 or more people at the titular 10 Rillington Place between 1943 and 1953. What makes this film so captivating is its authenticity. Richard Attenborough is mesmerizing as Christie, and John Hurt received a BAFTA nomination for his work as Timothy Evans, the man who was falsely accused of Christie's crimes.
How about that?
The house's exterior scenes were shot on the actual real-life street, although they were forced to film the nearby number 7 rather than the historic number 10. This helps bring the story to life and immerses us in some of the most notorious crimes in English history.
And may the Lord have mercy on your soul.
Number 4, Snowtown.
I'm John. How you doing? You alright? Pretty good.
The Snowtown murders rocked Australia in the 1990s. Also known as the Bodies in Barrels murders, the Snowtown murders were committed by 3 young men, with the help of a 4th, who considered their victims weak members of society. The film pulls no punches. It's a brutal, visceral experience, which is aided by the director's choice to use real locals rather than professional actors for most of the roles.
It's happening right now, right while we're sitting here. Some little kid's being touched up.
Snowtown serves as Justin Kurzel's feature directorial debut, although you wouldn't know it. The movie is professionally made, and the realistic approach it makes may be enough to turn a few viewers' stomachs. This is real horror based on real events, and it makes for a highly disturbing watch.
Hi, Mum, it's me, Fred. I'm on my way to Perth.
Number 3, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Must mean you go for a ride, Otis.
This film is an interesting anomaly on our list. It's based on the many actual confessions of real-life murderer Henry Lee Lucas, but the majority of them were subsequently revealed to be false. However, the infamy of the case, and the fact that the big screen Henry shares many experiences of the non-fictional serial killer place it here. Michael Rooker brilliantly portrays Henry, and Tom Tolles plays Otis, a character based on the real Otis Toole. The movie is a bleak, uncompromising, and realistic portrayal of a psychopath, and as such, it was immediately slapped with an X rating by the MPAA. It has remained controversial throughout the years due to its content, although the film's direction and Rooker's terrifying performance have remained consistently praised, despite it not being an easy watch by any means.
Tell her you're sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Number 2, Monster. There is one overwhelming reason to see this movie: Charlize Theron. Theron is completely unrecognizable, both physically and mentally, as serial killer Aileen Wuornos. Theron was showered with accolades for her performance as the John-murdering prostitute, winning a SAG Award, a Golden Globe, and an Academy Award. Not to mention having Roger Ebert call it one of the greatest performances in the history of cinema. So, yeah, we think she did okay.
You can help me.
Her portrayal allows us to both fear and feel sorry for Aileen, a killer haunted by mental illness and the circumstances of her tragic life. It's both harrowing and heartbreaking.
I'm not a bad person. I'm a real good person, right?
Number 1, Zodiac.
I'm not the Zodiac.
If only all serial killer movies could be as good as Zodiac. David Fincher, who knows a thing or two about on-screen murder, directs, and the movie stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Mark Ruffalo, and Robert Downey Jr. as the men hunting the enigmatic Zodiac killer in the late 60s and early 70s. This is a thriller done right. The performances are outstanding, the content dark and dreary, and the murder scenes, few as they may be, disturbingly realistic. Zodiac is an unsettling and captivating look into one of the most famous cold cases of all time, and it'll have you researching the Zodiac killer long after the credits roll.
This is the Zodiac speaking.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.